For 2022, BMW has a host of new EVs around the world, and in the US we're going to be getting two of them, the BMW iX, which is sized sort of like the BMW X5 that you just saw there, and of course the BMW i4, which can be seen of as a 3 Series or 4 Series replacement. Let's go in for a look here. The first thing you'll notice is we have BMW's angry laser headlights here. They don't shoot laser beams out, they're just using that as a mechanism to produce light, but they definitely are very distinctive, and we no longer have the same sort of styling that we've had in previous BMWs. This is heralding a new design direction from the brand. And that new design direction also includes these enormous bucktooth grille modules here, which are not completely functional. Obviously, well, actually not functional at all, because all the cooling happens right down there with the active aero shutters. Parking sensors there. We have a 360-degree camera system in this particular vehicle, and a really cool touch, this polycarbonate panel apparently will self-heal. So if you get scratches in this panel right here, you can apparently use a hairdryer or just put it in strong sunlight and it'll heal itself. As always, aero is very important in a vehicle like this because this is a pretty big EV crossover. So we have a lot of aero treatments going on in the front of the bumper, and definitely keep in mind the size of the iX. This has a big mid-size crossover with big tires, just as you'd expect from a performance luxury SUV. 275 with 22-inch tires on this vehicle, both front and rear. We have some really cool door handles here. Cool door handles are all the rage in EVs too for aerodynamic reasons. It's actually a physical release right in there. It's kind of a physical pressy button, but we have this really scalloped handle there. And then if I reopen that door, you'll notice that we don't have frames on the windows here, but we do have a carbon fiber body structure. BMW has really been into carbon fiber research, and this is one of their latest products using this technology. In addition to the carbon fiber structure, this also has BMW's latest motor and battery technology. This is not going to use permanent magnet electric motors because BMW is interested in sustainability as well, and it uses fewer rare earth materials. Behind this door, we have well-labeled AC and DC fast charge ports. According to BMW, this will be able to charge at up to 250 kW. So this is going to be just about as fast as modern Porsches, just a little bit slower. We don't know any details on charging curves just yet. Moving around to the back, we have these really angular and very 3D tail lamp modules. These look like the designs that we find in other BMWs, but it has more of a 3D texture going on there. This one is the M60 version. This is going to be the fastest version of the iX available. Let's see if we can find the button for the tailgate there. Now, if you open the tailgate, you'll notice that we have a very Audi-like design feature where the bell here, that sort of bell shape that we see going on, is very distinctive, and the taillights are on the hatch, which is why we have these tail lamp repeater modules that you can see here. Basically the same thing that we see in modern Audis. Again, you can see the carbon fiber structure. I really love the fact that BMW didn't try to hide it. They're really accentuating it, showing it off. Under the load floor, we have a surprisingly large storage area thanks to the design of the just under 110 kilowatt hour battery pack in this vehicle. You can see there's plenty of storage space going on there. But unlike the BMW X5, this battery electric version is not going to have an optional third row. If you want a 3-row EV from BMW, you may have to wait a little bit. Moving all the way around here, we have blacked out sections. It's a little bit difficult to tell on this vehicle since it is sort of a dark charcoal here. We have some blacked out accents right there with the iX logo in it. Now let's hop into the interior. Hopping inside, we have a ton of room here, but we also have a glass roof that does not close. There's no shade, anything like that. I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I do love vehicles with an actual shade. It doesn't extend quite as far over to the side as we find in some vehicles, but BMW has done a really good job preserving headroom. Sitting in this position where I normally would back here, I have about 2 inches between my head and the outboard position. There are some places where you can dock tablets there, USB-C charge ports, 4-zone automatic climate controls, and the floor right here is completely flat, just as you'd expect in a modern EV. And for improved cargo practicality, the rear seats fold almost completely flat with the cargo area in the back, and it's an electric mechanism. You can pull a little lever right down there under the seat or do it from the cargo area in the back. The interior is instantly recognizable as a BMW, but also definitely a different design theme than other BMW models. For instance, we have seat controls over here on the front doors, a la Mercedes, and your eyes are not deceiving you. These are sort of crystal-like buttons. You can really see the light reflecting there. Very similar buttons over there for the 2-position seat memory on the passenger door. BMW hasn't just been investing heavily in carbon fiber, they've also been investing heavily in recyclable and recycled materials for their interiors, and the iX is no different. You can see we have an interesting Little logo right over there on that passenger side airbag. Lots of stitched materials going on in here, and then two very large LCDs in the dashboard. It's a little bit difficult to tell by the lighting, but this infotainment LCD is actually a little bit taller and a little bit wider than the one over here for the instrument cluster. I don't mind that at all. I think that was the perfect choice. The instrument cluster LCD is running the latest version of BMW's iDrive system. Hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on that very, very shortly. Below that we have two very long air vents right there, a few physical controls. And then in the center console, just as we find in a lot of other modern EVs, we find a multi-tiered storage area. Flat floor right there, two cup holders, storage area there. Really kind of funky shifter here. It's sort of a joysticky style shifter. You toggle it back and forth, also crystal, just like this iDrive controller function. Unlike some of BMW's other iDrive controllers, this does not have a touchpad in the center, however. We do have touch controls integrated right here into the wood trim. That is a really, really elegant touch. Volume roller knob there, and I love the texture as you run your finger over these button modules. That's a really, really elegant thing. The center console folds open right like that to reveal a moderately sized storage area. Not quite as much storage going on in here as we find in some mainstream EVs, however. If you're a fan of hexagonal steering wheels, this is definitely going to tickle your fancy. We have sport grips up top, a semi-flat portion there, flat sides, and then a flat bottom with a two-spoke design. This is definitely a departure from what was seen in other BMW models. But the controls should be pretty familiar. Same sort of turn signal stalks and windshield wiper stalks that we find in other BMW models. And although the controls on the steering wheel are a little bit different, they're pretty easy to understand, pretty easy to read. There's also a big full-color heads-up display. It's pretty difficult to see right there, but that's integrated into the dashboard. If you're interested in a BMW iX, these are going to be on dealer lots soon. They're already being sold around the world. BMW has set a starting price for the iX of approximately $84,000 before destination. That puts this definitely in direct competition with the V8 Mercedes-Benz GLE or a V8 BMW X5. That is exactly the same kind of target customer that BMW is focusing on with this. Of course, keep in mind it is going to qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit. So if you're not interested in a third row and you're interested in an electric vehicle and all the modern touches that we find in the iX, this may be a little bit less expensive than a comparable V8 powered BMW X5. The look is certainly a little bit controversial. Let me know what you think about the enormous buck-toothed grille here. Personally, I don't mind it too much because this design is certainly more in keeping with historic BMWs. BMWs have always had kidneys oriented in this position, and they've had pretty big kidneys in the past. If your kidneys are more horizontal than vertical, there's probably something wrong with you. You're probably going to die soon and you should see your doctor. This is, in my opinion, how kidneys should actually be oriented on a BMW grille. Again, let me know what you think about that down there at the bottom of the comment section.